Hey, what's up, everybody? Josh Madsen here from Free Heel Life, where we preserve, protect, and promote telemark skiing all day, every day. And today's video, I'm going to be doing another telemark technique breakdown. I had a really cool experience. I got to teach a friend how to telemark ski, and it was a great experience because I haven't had the chance to do this in a really long time. And I thought, what a perfect way to be able to get some video and share it with our YouTube members, because I know we've been talking a lot about technique videos, and this is the best way, is like somebody actually learning how to telemark on day one and be able to walk you through some of the stuff I've learned. I'm going to be talking on the upcoming podcast next week about this experience too, and sort of how you can share the telemark turn with other people. So let's give you a little background on this. So this friend of mine wanted to learn how to telemark ski. He was in town. He's from the Midwest, from a very small mountain, like 300, 400 vertical feet, and alpine skier, and has never telemark skied, and just was incredibly interested in trying it. And I said, hey, let's go out. We'll spend, half day, 3/4 of a day, and I'll teach you how to telemark ski. You never know when you're going out with people, at least I don't, you hope the outcome's good. You hope they're linking turns by the end of it, but everybody's different, and it just depends. So a little background on this is I wanted to make sure, I was loaning him some gear, wanted to make sure that he had the right size stuff. So we did a boot sizing online through some of the YouTube videos about how to size, half and whole size, all that good stuff. And I had a pretty good idea of what he was going to size at. So I was able to sort of just put it between two sizes. And then when he showed up to my place, I could kind of help him out. Got him in some good boots. We went with, he normally skis like about a 177 in alpine skis at home. And he also travels, goes to Colorado and comes to Utah to ski and whatnot, obviously. So he's comfortable on 177. So I'm going to stick him on a 174 because I like to go a little shorter, just to a little less ski when you're learning how to telemark is just easier. It's less ski to deal with. And I thought that'd be a good route to go. Intermediate to advanced alpine skier, probably advanced, I'd say advanced alpine skier, self-taught alpine skier too, I find out. And here's a couple of things just before we get into this. What we were doing prior to these video clips that I'm going to show you is we had talked about the telemark stance as sort of just a point of reference. And you're going to hear me say this over and over. It's the shape we're trying to form with our front and back foot, and sort of the basic spacing that we're going to go along with. So there's a reference guide. Okay. It's not supposed to be static ever, but it's a good reference guide especially as you're learning what I call the safe zone, that telemark stance, that base that we want to create. There's a safe space where your feet are about a boot width apart, heel to toe. And we'll talk about this here in a bit. And if you watch the video on the YouTube channel about making a telemark stance, is good. And about a half a boot width between the 2 feet, not too wide, not too close together. What we're trying to do is create a good base, a good athletic base. And this needs to be the safety zone that we go to as we get into the telemark turn. So some of the drills we had done before this is getting in the stance, traversing the mountain, and hopefully areas that didn't have a lot of people. It was a little tricky trying to find some good basic terrain. Tried to stay away from steep stuff. Even blue runs at this level on day one, it's a little too much generally. So we want to find nice, mellow green runs to operate on. And so we had done some basic drills on this particular run that the videos are on, and we had done some other ones on some other stuff, mostly just traversing, coming to a full stop in a telemark stance, coming to a full stop, facing the other way, going back the other way. Now, the one thing I really liked about my buddy here is he really told me, he's like, I'm comfortable with speed. And he was really able to sort of kind of move through things a little bit easier because he was comfortable with speed. And I just kind of said, hey, if that's where you're at, go a little faster, no sense in slowing him down. So I really tried to listen to what his comfortability level was and sort of let him operate within the parameters that made sense for himself. So let's get into this video and we can show you a little bit about day one and what was going on. So we're on a pretty chill little slope here, and I want to just kind of start off by, okay, perfect. Okay, so one of the things we're doing is we're kind of moving through this is really trying to focus on this stance. Okay, so what I want you to pay attention to is we're breaking down the stance and getting the legs into what I want to say a good base. I don't want to even call it a correct position because of the ability to have some dynamics. And this is what you're going to see with my friend here is learning how to adjust as he's recognizing this. So we're also doing videos on each run. I highly recommend this. Do videos on the run, watch it on the lift, and also and then kind of recap, get back on the run, video, look at it on the lift. And this was good. We were able to do some really short little laps here. So he's obviously coming and stepping into a parallel turn to start with, and then kind of going back into a telemark. He wasn't even using a wedge to initiate the turn, and that was kind of part of the speed thing. I said, hey, just let it go, man. If that's how you feel comfortable, you don't need to be doing a stem Christie. We can kind of do more of like come to a parallel stance and then into it. Now, as he drops in, you'll see he actually is pretty good at sliding into this turn. And as we can kind of see, now, one thing I want to point out, this is what we were struggling with right off the bat. I want you to look at the back leg right here. Okay. This is where, and he's kind of finishing this turn, but I want you to keep an eye on this back leg as we go forward, because what it is there's no angle here. Okay. We're not getting a very good angle, and we need to be more closer to a right angle because it's allowing to pressure the ball of the foot on the back foot. So you'll see he kind of goes in. Okay. I'm going to kind of start and stop this. So he's kind of sliding in, and okay. And see, this is what I'm talking about with that athletic base and the safe spot. What happens is if you try to ease into the telemark stance and you just put your heel up, but you don't get the boot separation between the heel and the toe, it becomes very, very unstable. Now, coming from Alpine, like my buddy, he basically, his safe zone is this right here, going back to an Alpine stance. Had he sort of gone into a deeper telemark stance quicker, that would be a good base on free heel equipment that's also a safe zone. Not to say you can't ever go parallel, like that's a skill that you need to have as a telemark skier, but I just wanted to kind of point that out. So he kind of does that, and then we're to the end of the run. Okay, so we watch the video, we get up to the next thing. You can see he's kind of using that traversing. Okay, right off the bat, you can see that back leg. We've got between the heel of the front foot and the toe of the back foot, we got a pretty good stance going on, and he's holding it all the way across the slope. Now he kind of goes parallel and then right into a telemark turn. So really what we were doing is he was already figuring out how to go parallel into a telemark stance. Now we were just trying to sort of link the turns where he's going telemark into telemark. Okay. And really that's what we call linking turns. Let's just kind of watch as he's going through this. Okay. So back leg's pretty good. You can see he's making adjustments. Okay. So there you go. He got right into it right off the bat, and he's just going right across, kind of using more of that traverse technique, really trying to stay in the stance, comes parallel again. And now he's going to go into the turn. Boom, he commits to it all the way. Okay. Nice separation. See, it starts to get a little stuck there, and he ends up falling over. Okay. Nice right angle on the back leg. The thing I love about this is he's making adjustments on the back foot as he feels. See right there. Okay. I want to point that out. Look at that back leg right here. Okay. You can see it's starting to get what I would call a little bit long. In between the heel to toe, he's got a little more than a boot length. And what it's doing is elongating that angle of that back leg from a right angle, a 90-degree angle, and it's opening it up a little too far. And so that back leg kind of starts to drag, when it gets too long, too far out here, it becomes more difficult to push on the ball of the foot. Okay. And when you can't push on the ball of the foot, that uphill leg struggles to pressure and become part of the turn. So you can see, boom, he kind of starts sucking it in here a little bit. There you go. He's getting a little more pressure there. Now he's using it. One thing that's interesting right here is you're going to notice is that back of the ski's kind of flopping around. It's almost like he's leaning too far on the shovel instead of putting the weight downward below his hips. But he's figuring out, okay, right there, it got a little long again, but he's starting to learn how to correct it himself, which is beautiful. Starts kind of sucking it in. Yeah, there you go. And he's getting it much better. He's starting to control that inside ski. Very nice turn. That's his strong side going to the right, obviously. Left is a little bit, yeah, he's kind of swinging. See how that back leg was straight again? Yeah, good angle, pushing the knee to the ground, and we're all finished. All right, we're starting to kind of improve here as we go along. Keep watching that back leg. See, he started to try to make an adjustment. It was a little wonky. Now he's getting his feet too close. And that's what I was talking about. Let me go back here. I want to show you exactly what's going on here. Right here. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. So this is sort of like, there's obviously no, and I know he was making an adjustment, but I just wanted to kind of point out what this looks like, because a lot of times when people are coming from Alpine, they really hyper focus on lifting the heel, not so much on getting the separation between the toe and the heel, like we were just pointing out. And so what happens is you start struggling. This is an incredibly unstable base. That's not a good Telemark base. So if you're here, you either need to come back to full parallel with both feet on the ground, or you need to get that foot separated and get the distance right here so that you can actually have some separation. He kind of wobbles in there, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is it's sort of this wobbly, oh, and then he comes back to parallel. Okay, he made a decision. He came back, and now we're good. So let's watch what he goes here. Good separation. You can see it. Good right angle on the back. Might be a little long, but it's better than it was. See, and there he could have recovered on that left turn, but he didn't sink. Now a little long leg, adjusts, and he's starting to kind of see he's running a little lengthy on that. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. He committed more to the Telemark when he got into that wobbly zone. Okay, and that's something. It's hard when you're learning, because you're usually the speed's not up. He's going actually pretty good speed, but sometimes it's hard when you're sort of trying to ease into a Telemark turn. Let's do that. You ease into the Telemark turn, it gets a little dicey. Telemark is all about committing to the stance, the turn, getting there to your base of safety in a Telemark stance. That's what's going to save you. Even though your brain's telling you, no, bring your feet back together, this is where you have to kind of change it up. Now, back to here. We kind of got that elongated leg. I want to point that out. It's getting a little straight here. You can see it. What he needs to do is cinch it up a little bit from heel to toe right here to about a boot length. And he can do that by dropping this knee lower, getting that 90-degree angle, using the torso to sort of bring the weight down from his shoulders down through his hips. That's how he's going to get it. So let's kind of watch and see what happens here. He kind of makes some adjustment, kind of stands tall. Okay, now he's getting, okay, good. He got it. Okay, it's running a little long, but he's sort of figuring it out. See, that's the beauty of it. He's starting to be dynamic with that inside foot, and he's figuring it out. Another thing I'm going to point out, we ditched the poles because the poles were, we did a couple drills holding the poles. Finally, I was like, the poles are messing you up. Don't even worry about using poles. Body position's good. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about counter rotation and angulation and stuff like that. I mostly want to focus on sort of this intermediate day one stance stuff. Okay. Good Good. Good adjustments. Probably could have gone even a little longer on that stance. That was a fantastic turn. Great turn. He's figuring out the pressure on his inside foot. Like I said, see it. Oh, okay. Sunk into it. See, beautiful. He went into telemark rather than into parallel. Okay. Distance here. This is what we're looking for. Good. And he's using the inside ski to make that turn. So beautiful. Comes parallel. Boom. Using the inside foot to make the turn. Good separation. Good angle on the leg. Very good basic turn. Okay, open leg. There he made the adjustment. Now he's more at a 90-degree angle. He's pressuring the ball of the foot. Absolutely beautiful. There's another good turn. Little too much pressure. He's kind of, like I said, you can see that kind of flap that's happening in the back. He could probably get rid of that by sinking into it a little bit better. Little spill at the end. I think we're kind of getting to the end of this. We'll just kind of rally through here, but really good angles on the leg. Oh, yep. Didn't quite bring his foot together. Staying a little wide, gets into a nice stance, sort of figuring it out. Very, very good. He's learning how to pressure that ball of his foot on the inside leg, and he's learning how to manage it. Again, I don't really like the flap on the tail on the inside ski, but that's something we could do later. You know, we can work that out. I'm not too worried about it on day one. You know, I'm more interested in him getting that. Look at that beautiful base. He's linking turns. Boom, telly. Okay, needs to get a little more separation. That's his weak side. Everyone's got a weak side. Boom, linking turns. Needs to get that angle on the back leg, but overall pretty good. Definitely getting the distance. The heel to toe is beautiful. Look at that. Boom, right into another turn. This is excellent. A little straight on the leg, but overall, like the dynamics of getting turn to turn, he's figuring it out. He's feeling comfortable. His hands aren't, honestly, it's putting his body in a nice position on its own. I think here's the biggest thing. Taking that stance, day one, is we're sharing the turn with our friends, especially this holiday season. Those are the things we want to look for. So hopefully that technique breakdown helped you. I hope you're having a great week. And let me know in the comments what you liked, maybe what we can focus on next time. And I'm going to keep getting these Telemark Technique breakdown videos going. And until next time, spread Telemark always, my friends. See you later. Cheers. Cheers.